What if I told you that earning a six-figure salary could actually leave you broker, more stressed, and working decades longer than someone making half your income? It sounds completely backwards, but it is the silent financial trap catching 95% of hardworking Americans today. The truth is, your next big raise might actually push your retirement date further away instead of closer. To understand exactly why this happens, we have to look at Tyler and Chloe. On paper, they share the exact same starting line, same city, same job title, and the exact same number on their W-2 forms at the end of the year, $145,000. Meet Tyler. He's 32, a software manager, and if you saw him on social media, you'd think he is absolutely winning at life. He's got the leased German sedan, the designer watch, the dinners at spots where they don't print the prices on the menu, and those spontaneous weekend trips to Cabo. Now, meet Chloe. Also 32, she works in healthcare administration and pulls in $72,000 a year, literally half of what Tyler takes home. She drives a paid-off commuter car, lives in a modest neighborhood, and cooks most of her meals at home. On paper, this isn't even a fair fight. If you asked 99% of people who is going to be wealthier in a decade, they'd point at Tyler in a heartbeat. But here's the bizarre truth. 10 years from now, Chloe will have the power to walk away from work forever. She will be completely free. Tyler, on the other hand, will still be trading his Mondays for money, still trapped in the rat race, and still exactly one bad quarter or one unexpected layoff away from absolute panic. How is that possible? How does someone earning double the money end up poorer and trapped, while the person making half ends up wealthy and free? The answer has almost nothing to do with salary. In fact, salary is the ultimate red herring in personal finance. Today, we are going to expose the great salary illusion, look at the cold hard data from the Federal Reserve, and walk you through the 3 secret numbers that actually determine your financial destiny. By the end of this video, you'll be able to calculate all 3 for yourself, so you can stop playing a rigged game. We obsess over salary because it's easy to brag about. It's what we put on dating profiles, what our parents ask about at family dinners, and how we judge our career progress. But relying on salary to measure your wealth is like looking at how fast water is pouring into a bucket while ignoring the giant hole at the bottom. If you spend everything you make, you aren't wealthy. You're just a high-income broke person. Most high earners aren't building wealth. They're just managing a high-velocity cash pipeline that flows straight out to landlords, car dealerships, and credit card companies. They've built a life that looks rich, but on paper, they are functionally broke. To build a foundation that actually lasts, you need to ignore the noise of your paycheck and start tracking the real scoreboard. The first secret number is the only true measure of your financial health: net worth. Net worth is incredibly simple to calculate, yet most people avoid doing it because it forces them to look in the mirror. It is simply everything you own of real value minus everything you owe to someone else. On the own side, you have your cash, your retirement accounts, any brokerage investments, and the actual equity in your home. On the owe side, you have your mortgage, your car loans, your student debt, and any outstanding credit card balances. Subtract what you owe from what you own, and whatever's left is your net worth. That single number is your true financial GPA. Not your fancy car, not your job title, just this one balance. Let's look at how this plays out in the real world with Tyler and Chloe. Tyler, making $145,000, has a net worth that is shockingly close to zero, or sometimes even negative. He has a leased vehicle, which means he owns zero equity in his car. He has a closet full of clothes and gadgets that lost 80% of their value the moment he walked out of the store. He carries $11,000 in credit card debt and only has about $9,000 in a savings account that he constantly raids to fund his lifestyle. He is a high-income earner with a low-income balance sheet. Chloe, on her $72,000 salary, has $91,000 invested in low-cost index funds, $22,000 in cash for emergencies, a paid-off car, and absolutely zero consumer debt. Her net worth is over $113,000, and it grows every single month. Even though Tyler makes twice as much, Chloe is over $100,000 ahead in the game of life. But net worth can be tricky, and there are 2 major traps that keep people from building a net worth that actually works. First, let's talk about Jessica. Jessica is 34, incredibly responsible, works hard, and never misses a payment. But she is carrying $19,000 in credit card debt at a brutal 24% interest rate, plus $11,000 left on a car loan. Her assets, a small savings account, and a modest retirement balance total $18,000. When you do the math, Jessica's net worth is negative $12,000. High-interest debt doesn't just sit there, it is a financial parasite. It reaches into your net worth every single month and drags it down while you sleep. For Jessica, the smartest move isn't picking hot stocks, it's aggressively wiping out that high-interest debt to stop her foundation from sinking. The second trap is the cash trap, which we see with Lauren. Lauren is 28 and she did something amazing. She managed to save $100,000. But because she was afraid of the stock market, she kept all $100,000 in a traditional bank savings account, earning basically zero interest. While Lauren felt safe, inflation was quietly eating her purchasing power from the inside out. Money that is not invested is a scoreboard number that stands completely still while the cost of living keeps moving. Net worth is important, but a working net worth is what actually sets you free. So, where do you stack up compared to the rest of the country? According to the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances, the median net worth of an American household is around $193,000, but that number is highly dependent on age. For households under 35, the median net worth is roughly $39,000. For ages 35 to 44, it rises to $135,600. For ages 45 to 54, it sits at $247,200. And as people approach retirement in their late 50s and early 60s, it lands near $364,500. Now, pause and look at those numbers. They aren't massive. What this tells us is that the vast majority of Americans are letting the vast majority of their lifetime earnings slip right through their fingers. The gap between what we earn and what we actually keep is the defining tragedy of modern personal finance.
Before we move on to the second secret number, I want to ask you a quick question. Where are you currently focusing your financial energy? Are you aggressively paying down debt, building up your cash buffer, or heavily investing for the future? Drop your answer in the comments below. It helps build a great community here, and I love reading your responses to see where everyone is starting from. Now, if net worth tells you where you stand on the field, your savings rate tells you how fast you are running. This is the most powerful financial lever in your control, and it is the entire reason Chloe is going to retire decades before Tyler. Your savings rate is simply the percentage of your take-home pay that you save or invest instead of spending. If your net take-home pay is $5,000 a month and you keep $1,000 of it, your savings rate is 20%. Most people think that to retire early, you need to make a massive income. But the math of early retirement actually ignores your income entirely. It only cares about your savings rate. Why? Because your savings rate acts as a double lever on your financial timeline. When you increase your savings rate, two magical things happen simultaneously. First, you are putting more money into your investments, accelerating your compound interest. Second, you're learning to live on less, which permanently lowers the total amount of money you need to be financially free. This concept was famously detailed in personal finance. The math is brutal in its simplicity. Assuming your investments earn a conservative 5% return after inflation and you plan to live on a standard 4% withdrawal rate in retirement, the timelines are incredibly clear. If you save 10% of your income, you will have to work for 51 years before you can retire. If you save 25% of your income, that working timeline drops to 32 years. If you can push your savings rate to 50%, your retirement timeline collapses to just 17 years. And if you are highly disciplined and save 65%, you will be completely free in about a single decade. Let's put Tyler and Chloe back on this curve. Chloe, making $72,000, lives a very intentional life. She saves about 35% of her income. On the early retirement curve, Chloe's entire working life will span roughly 25 years. Since she started working at 22, she will be fully retired and free by age 47. Tyler, despite making nearly double Chloe's salary, only saves about 5% of his income. On that same curve, Tyler is looking at a working career of over 40 years. Tyler will likely still be working, stressed, and trading his time for a paycheck well into his 60s, while Chloe is traveling the world on her own terms. So why do so many high earners fail at this? It's because of a silent trap called lifestyle inflation. Every time Tyler got a raise or a bonus, his savings rate didn't move. Instead, his apartment got bigger, his car payments got higher, and his habits got more expensive. His lifestyle expanded to consume every single dollar he made. He's running faster, but the treadmill is speeding up right along with him.
Cutting back on your spending isn't about deprivation, it's about buying back your freedom.
Now that you know your net worth and your savings rate, you need to know where the finish line actually is. That brings us to our third secret number, your financial independence number, or FI number. Your FI number is the exact dollar amount you need to have invested so that you never have to work for a single dollar again for the rest of your life. The math to find this is incredibly simple. Take your annual living expenses, what you actually spend in a year to live, and multiply them by 25. So, if you look at your bank statements and realize you spend $40,000 a year to live comfortably, your FI number is $1 million. If you spend $80,000 a year, your FI number is $2 million. Once your invested net worth hits that target, you can safely withdraw 4% of it every year to live on. Adjust that amount for inflation, and historically, your portfolio will almost never run out of money. This is known as the 4% rule, and it is backed by decades of market history and academic research. Researchers looked at every 30-year period in stock market history and found that a portfolio consisting of a simple mix of stocks and bonds could easily sustain a 4% withdrawal rate through recessions, market crashes, and high inflation. Let's look at how the FI number creates a massive, unfair advantage for people who keep their expenses low. Because Chloe spends about $45,000 a year, her target FI number is $1,125,000. That is her finish line. Tyler, because of his high-end lifestyle, spends roughly $130,000 a year. That means his FI number is a massive $3,250,000. Because Tyler spends nearly 3 times as much as Chloe, his finish line is 3 times further away. He doesn't just have to save more, he has to save a mountain of wealth just to maintain the lifestyle he's grown accustomed to. By choosing a louder, more expensive lifestyle today, he has quietly signed himself up for decades of extra labor.
All of this math sounds great on a whiteboard, but let's look at what happens when real life hits. Let's look at what happens when a recession strikes and both Tyler and Chloe are laid off from their jobs in the exact same week. This is where the 3 numbers write 2 completely different stories. Tyler has a net worth of near zero, a 5% savings rate, and a massive overhead. His fixed costs, the car payment, the high rent, the credit card minimums, are enormous. He has about $9,000 in cash, which gives him a financial runway of maybe 3 weeks before he can't pay his bills. Panic immediately sets in. Because he cannot afford to miss a single paycheck, Tyler is forced to take the very first job offer he gets, even if it means a pay cut, a toxic work environment, or a terrible commute. The layoff is a total catastrophe for him. Chloe, on the other hand, has a net worth of over $130,000, with $22,000 of that sitting in cash. Because her lifestyle is lean and she has no debt, her monthly expenses are incredibly low. That $22,000 in cash doesn't just buy her security, it buys her a full year of runway. Chloe doesn't have to panic. She can take her time, wait for the perfect job opportunity, negotiate a higher salary, or even take a sabbatical to travel or start her own business. The layoff isn't a crisis for Chloe, it's a paid vacation. The salary gap between them was huge, but the freedom gap when things went wrong was immeasurable. You don't need a degree in finance or a high-priced advisor to take control of your financial future. You just need a pencil, a piece of paper, and 10 quiet minutes tonight. Here is your step-by-step action plan to calculate your 3 numbers. First, calculate your net worth. Sit down and log into your accounts. Write down the value of your cash, retirement accounts, and investments. Then write down every single debt you owe. Subtract your liabilities from your assets. This is your true starting point. If it's negative, don't panic. Now you have a target to aim for. Second, calculate your savings rate. Look at your paychecks from last month. How much actually hit your bank account after taxes? Now look at how much you actually saved, invested, or used to pay down debt above the minimum payments. Divide what you kept by what you took home. If it's under 10%, you are on the 50-year track. Try to make small cuts to push that number toward 20 or 30%. Third, calculate your FI number. Look at your average monthly spending over the last year. Multiply that monthly spending by 12 to get your annual expenses. Now, multiply that annual number by 25. That is your finish line. Write that number down and put it somewhere you can see it every single day. Your salary is what the corporate world decides to pay you. Your savings rate is what you choose to pay yourself. Don't let the noise of a bigger paycheck trick you into buying a bigger cage.
Wealth isn't about looking rich, it's about owning your time, your choices, and your peace of mind. If this video helped peel back the curtain on how wealth actually works and gave you a clear map for your own financial journey, do us a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every single week, we break down the hidden math behind the financial decisions we all face so you can build a life of genuine freedom. Go calculate your 3 numbers tonight, and we'll see you in the next video.